the start of this year, I predicted that July would be a disastrous month for Bitcoin. And boy was I wrong. It's caused me to go back and revisit all of my predictions for the rest of this bull market. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys the key dates on when I think the top is going to come. It's actually looking more bullish than even I was expecting. All of that's coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry, where we help you navigate your life by predicting world events, life cycles, and finances. My name is Sulabh Jain, and in this video, we're going to be having a look at the cryptocurrency bull market and trying to figure out when the top is going to be. Before we do that though, let's talk about altcoins, because I think in order to understand where crypto is heading, we've really got to have a look at the altcoin cycle, if you will. Now, this is a little snippet of a video I put out in February or March of this year, predicting the start of the altcoin cycle. Now, I'm of the opinion that altcoin season is just starting right now, even though it doesn't look like it. And at that point in time, the alts hadn't quite bottomed yet. I was predicting the bottom would be about March or April time, and it kept sliding down through all of March. I got a lot of worried messages from a lot of you guys, such as this one over here. And at the time, it didn't really make sense, but if you have a look at the altcoin charts at the moment, you'll see most of them actually bottomed in about that March-April period, such as Ethereum, Solana, Aave, and many others. And the reason I'm starting out talking about this is sometimes we make a prediction and it makes no sense at all, because the market tends to go down a little bit before it starts to go up. But in hindsight, a couple months later, we can all see clearly that the bottom is in fact in. This is an important lesson because very soon I'm going to tell you where I think the top is going to be with Bitcoin and what's going to be happening to the alts just after it. But when that event happens, we're not going to know that it's happening at that exact date or that point in time. We'll only find out about it a couple months afterwards. So I want to give you guys a quick heads up on that. Now, let's talk about Bitcoin and what's going on. So before we actually get into Bitcoin, let me make a confession that my prediction for July was absolutely wrong. It's not something I hide behind on this channel. For those of you who've been following me for a while, whenever I get something wrong, I come out on YouTube and I tell you guys all about it. So let me throw up a screenshot of my predictions for the Bitcoin cycle from, I think I put this video out in December of 2024. And it's been a while since I've updated this, so let's just go through grading this real quick. Prediction 6, that there'd be a price rise in late April to the first week of May, ended up happening. There was a price fall in late May. Now, I think from memory is around about the 22nd of May. In June, there was a price rise, although this is a very small one, only a few $1,000s. And prediction number 9, that July would be a Bitcoin disaster month, did not end up happening. So I'm going to put a cross next to that, and I'll explain to you guys how I got this wrong, what my logic was. You see, I'm operating off the thesis that Jupiter is the most important planet in this crypto bull cycle. And in July of this year, there was a full moon in Sagittarius. And the reason that's important is because Jupiter is in Gemini and Sagittarius is at the opposite end of the zodiac to Gemini, meaning the moon is in opposition to Jupiter. I believe that was going to be a bad period, as in the moon would take away some of Jupiter's energy, and if Jupiter is supporting Bitcoin, that would bring Bitcoin down. But as you can see, the opposite happened. The price went up almost on the exact date of that new moon activity. And very clearly, I was wrong on that. But I want to give you guys a little bit of insight into what goes into making a prediction like this and all the work I do in order to put even one line up on YouTube as a prediction. You see, I have to look at 108 different variables. There's 12 zodiac signs and 9 different planets. They all interact in 108 different ways. 12 times 9 is 108. So once you do that and then look into aspects and dashes and all that sort of stuff, the system gets very, very complicated. And what we're basically trying to do is take all that data and crunch it down to answer 3 simple questions. The first variable is to identify the asset class that's going to go up or down. Is it Bitcoin or gold? Is it the stock market? What do we think we're looking at? The second variable is to figure out the date at which this happens. Then the third variable is to figure out if the price goes up or if the price goes down. And as you can see with this Bitcoin prediction, I got 2 of the 3 variables right. I figured out that something was going to happen to Bitcoin. I figured out when it was going to happen. But what I got wrong was the movement that that event would create. I thought the price would go down. Instead, as you can see, it went up violently. This is one reason I grade my predictions on YouTube for everyone to see, because in order to get one prediction right or to put a tick next to one of my predictions means I've got to get those 3 variables right. In order to get those 3 variables right, I need to have a look at 108 other variables in order to do that. So it's not just random guessing, it's not just flipping a coin saying Bitcoin will go up or down. There's a lot of analysis that goes into this. The reason I'm mentioning that is I was getting a lot of negative comments from some of you guys about Bitcoin not turning into a disaster, and I just want to take you guys, I suppose, behind the curtains a little bit to show you what goes on with all of this. It's not just guesswork. But at the same time, it's also important for me to say that I'm not 100% correct all the time or 100% accurate. No one in any industry is ever going to be 100% right. Like, no doctor will diagnose people correctly 100% of the time. No lawyer is going to win 100% of their cases. I'm human just like everyone else. But I do have my track record online for you guys to have a look at. In fact, this is a screenshot of my 2024 predictions on crypto. And as you can see, most of them were pretty good. I got 10 out of 12 correct, and that's a track record I'm pretty happy with. And so far this year in 2025, we're going to be close to that accuracy once again. Now, in and amongst a lot of those negative comments that I was getting on getting one prediction wrong, I do get some really good questions from you guys. And this one over here is a great example. When Nicholas Soundso is asking, okay, so explaining the past with different planetary transits and aspects is one thing. There is a transit or aspect every week. But what does it mean for the future? Jupiter ends its time in Gemini on October 18th when it transits into Cancer. Does this mean the end of the bull market? So I love getting questions like this because it means that you guys are thinking and you're actually trying to process what's going on here. So let me answer this question and then I'll throw up all the key dates on where I think this Bitcoin cycle is heading. Now, firstly, Jupiter does go into Cancer on October the 18th, but it goes into 0 degrees of Cancer, meaning it's right on the cusp, and then it spins retrograde and comes back into Gemini. And I think the date for that is December the 7th when it returns to Gemini. November the 11th is when it goes retrograde. Now, the reason I'm saying this is 0 degrees Cancer is the same as 30 degrees of Gemini. So there's one argument that you can make, which is that Jupiter doesn't actually leave Gemini. It just hits the border of Gemini and Cancer and then spins backwards. But then I suppose the other argument you can make is technically 0 is the first number, or the first number of Cancer. So yes, it goes into Cancer, but then it doesn't really do it at the same time. The reason I'm mentioning this is that these are going to be key dates on where we think the top of the bull cycle is going to be. So let me throw up my screenshot once again and we'll start updating my predictions. And the first thing I'll do is I'll cross out the price rise prediction for August. I think the price is actually going to be going down for Bitcoin. It just needs to cool down a little bit. Then in the 11th prediction, where I say September to November could be the top, well, that's approximately the period where Jupiter goes into Cancer, but it's also the period where the Sun goes over Ketu. That's always a disastrous time too. So I'm looking at a lot of volatility for Bitcoin at that point, but I don't think that's actually going to be the end of the market. And so I'm looking at Bitcoin basically going up until about the first week of September. then it looks like it's consolidating until about mid-October, where that Jupiter transit / not transit happens. In that mid-November period where Jupiter goes retrograde, there's going to be volatility, meaning I think it's probably going to go up a lot, then down a lot. And then in December, when Jupiter goes back into Gemini, I'm looking at the price going up. However, in February and more so into March of 2026, where Jupiter retrograde starts to slow down as it switches to becoming direct again, I'm looking at the price slowing down. Then in March, as Jupiter goes direct, I think the price is going up again. And April is looking like a fantastic month for Bitcoin. And then June being what could be the very top. Now you'll notice I put a question mark next to that one because there are 4 potential tops for Bitcoin right now. It's either mid-October to mid-November where Jupiter's in Cancer and then goes retrograde. It could be in late January, February time. It could be in April, or it could be in June, July. Right now, I'm leaning towards the top being in June. But if I get some of these other predictions wrong, then I'm going to reevaluate it, come back and update my predictions. So if you guys aren't subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.